Today is, and you're not going to believe this, June 24th, 2025. The time is currently 6:58 p.m. Quite hot here. 48. A poetess appeared within our world, and the beauty of her songs lifted us quite out of ourselves into the world of spirits. She gilded our drab prison bars with fire, brought heaven to the dark rooms of our hearts, changing each word from smoke to red-hot flame. She had come to us from the land of Rind, and the strange myths woven about her life warmed us like sacred wine. She herself was blind from birth, a child of 1,000 nights without a trace of day, yet her blind eyes seemed in themselves to hold the depths of a dark well, the nucleus of all song. And the miracle she brought with her was the game of the human soul with language, the visionary's play with joy and sorrow. And we were enraptured by her songs of bliss, and blinded by the glory she revealed in the infinity of space, where she, though blind and trapped by night, composed the songs of Rind. 49. The Blind Poetess. The long road I've come from Rind to here has the same night color as the paths I trod in Rind itself. Dark as before, dark as always, but our darkness grew cold. Therein lay the difference. All accustomed darkness deserted me, and against my forehead, and against my breast, which was a part of spring, the cold darkness struck and stayed forever. A dreary moaning from Rhine's aspens surged in the night. I began to shiver. This was in autumn. Some spoke of the fire of maples. Some whom I heard passing praised the sunset hues on a nearby valley. They said it was crimson, pale, with spreading rays, purple in the evening. Against it, forests flamed in the night. They told, too, how shadows under the trees gradually whitened after frost, as though grass were summer's hair, rapidly aging. So they described to me the look of things, a silvering of hoar-frost and gold, that flashed and glimmered each time summer paid her debt to her grey creditor the cold. And autumn's gay extravagance was also painted, all gold thrown into summer's grave. This flaming grandeur, so they said, had the gaudiness of a pejorative word for Romani funeral, with its riot of red and yellow streamers and gilded banners brought from Ispahan. I was pretty sure that that word got used in this once. But I myself stood still and cold, and there in the darkness, and only felt all that was near to me vanish before a dark and icy wind, while the last shudder of the aspen leaves told me that in the land of Rind summer would soon lie dead. Then the wind changed, and in the night a terrible black heat swept in. I fell into the arms of one who came running. That frightened me. How could I tell in the hot darkness who it was? He caught me as I fell and held me, whether a devil or a man I knew not, while the rumbling increased, and the hot wind, black as before, grew to a tempest. He who held me shouted frantically, in a voice which yet seemed far away, "Protect your eyes! It's coming! It will blind you!" I made my own voice as loud as I could, and shouted back at him, "I am already blind. I have never seen." Then he let me go, ran for his life. I cannot say where, in the hot blast of darkness which was suddenly swallowed up by fearful thunderclaps, crashing towards me, a blind woman. I fell again, began to crawl, and struggled on through Rhine's forests. At length I reached a stony crevice where no trees fell and the heat was not too great. There I lay, almost happy, between stones, and prayed to Rhine for help, and through the roaring mirabile dictu, someone came to my pit, and carried me away to a closed carriage, and conveyed me through the night to Rinden's airfield. There was a refugee committee there, nigh stricken dumb, their voices cracked by tiredness and shouting. I whispered my number and name, and they told me to follow the crowd which surged to the Golconda exits. The years which followed sealed my fate, for on the Martian tundra I learnt how, as a messenger from Rhind, so to soften the guards with my songs of grief over a cruel doom, by touching faces with my hands. I learnt to tell great sufferers from others, and at length returned to Rind, to gather by my singing money for the tundra refugees. The land in Rind was bare, all vegetation stunted, but iron wills insisted on their plan to save some ground with a new substance. The scientists had given them geosand, they called it. How this worked I do not know. Many said it was a complete failure. Man to man, the plan was defined as something everybody hoped for, but no one could achieve. Thus I left my home, the source of all my songs of rind. I applied for a post as a singer in the third saloon. There I work now. I sing "Alas, the Valley" and "Tiny Bird in the Bower of Roses," as well as the cast iron ballad, which the Gondians so often sing aboard our space Golconda. Each fight for heaven is a fight for joy. The goal of every heart is paradise. How fearful then if treacherous influences lead and persuade the selfish and the angry into this fight, thus darkening our way with banners of hate, revenge, and malice. How hard is it for man to feel a keen and natural desire to maintain truth? How hard is it to know one's duty early? How hard to join in mass at the high altar, invoking so a God whose strange laws we know no more than that he suffers deeply in every act that does not wholly please him. How hard to fuse one's faith with daily living, how hard to understand God's sacrifice, how difficult in secret not to wonder, has not the blood of sacrifice run dry, and why are the executioners still with us? How difficult in secret not to wonder. How hard to understand the words of mercy for us who have never spoken with the dead or had an answer from the grave, where fairies never tiptoe in with wands, where only one has burst the bonds of death to meet his God, while all others, blind and silent in the foulness of disillusion, must lie in dust until the judgment day. How hard to trust in life beyond the grave! How right to wish for life beyond the grave! For this is proof of joy in living, and the desire to taste life's beauties further, not just to die like fireflies on the shore. How right to show an honest joy in living! How right to value living over death! How harsh the grip of the tomb! How easy to trust in life beyond the grave! Committed to the earth they lie in ranks, in the blind ground beneath the winds of spring, and there in unison they join in the chorus of all the blind chanting the songs of Rind. With limbs already mouldered into dust, they praise each day in song the God who, although blind, knows all and never needs to see, the bodies to which he granted spirit. Slowly the flesh will crumble into dust, only the bones endure. But time goes on, and soon even the bones will mingle with the earth, and soon their song choir will dissolve into the treetops, from where every leaf will tell the winds that pass how death hidden in summer sings for joy. Forgetful of itself, the summer fades, so too the spirit of life, elusive as delicate summers which have flowered away, to come again with every changing year. We listen, entranced, while a blind girl speaks. Some murmur as they stand. What gracious words she tells her story in! What gracious words come from the land of Rind! But they are only words, borne on the wind. That's the other real longin'. Why is it that when I make a video where I don't do anything, it attracts viewers? Is it that people see it and click on it because they think it's interesting and it's a video of me doing nothing and it intrigues people, whereas this is me doing something and so people click away? Why do Magman Magma Miner? Why do you what do you mean this is horrifying? I'm just sitting there. I don't understand. I, huh? I average view duration for yesterday's video is 32 seconds. What? I don't... Why? The hell, my average is... My average view duration is close to 2 minutes. That feels not right. Okay. That's not true in general. Peak on November 24th. That's been the most viewership in a single day.